Let's start the hour off here with an ESPN.com piece. It is ranking every Power 4 conference quarterback. Let's see what the last number is. Of course, that ranking is going to start with 1, but it gets, how many teams are there? It gets through 68. So it's 1 to 68 is the ranking. And, of course, as I tell you all the time, like the first thing I do when I jump to one of these lists is go to the local angle. Like, where's Garrett Nussmeier? And so I started scrolling through, and it took me a little while to get there, quite frankly, to scroll down. But Garrett Nussmeier does show up on this list at number 37 on the list. So worse than half on this list. The blurb reads, the preseason Heisman contender dealt with a torso injury before the season. Sure looks like he's still dealing with it, but he has to throw it all the time because LSU's running game stinks. He's throwing quick passes. He's 115th in air yards per attempt. There's only 133 teams in the country. Not completing a huge percentage, 43rd in completion rate, and the ones he is completed aren't going anywhere. 112th in the country in yards per completion. LSU's defense is finally excellent, but Nussmeier and the offense aren't living up to their end of the bargain. I have a hard time go ahead and disagreeing with anything that is being said there. And if you would have told me that Garrett Nussmeier was going to play like a bottom half of the P4 at quarterback this year, I'd have said, well, they're going to be in some trouble because I think the defense is going to be pretty good, but I don't think they're going to run it great. And if they don't pass it, they're not going to score a lot. And that has been the case to this point for Garrett Nussmeier in this offense, and you know that. Now, some familiar names back behind Garrett Nussmeier that I wanted to point out before I go to what's left on LSU's schedule on this list. Bryce Underwood is right behind Garrett Nussmeier. Nussmeier is 37, and Bryce Underwood is 38. They say that he's 38th in sack rate, 7th in yards per scramble, throwing the ball a little bit too hard at times, had some inaccuracies. He's better than what Michigan had last year, but is he good right now? Probably not. So Bryce Underwood comes in at 38. How about this? You've got to go down on this list a shocking amount to get to the two quarterbacks that LSU saw in their first two P4 games. Cade Klubnik is 54th on this list. His QBR for the season is 45.1. Hasn't thrown for 1,000 yards yet. We're more than a month into the season. The offensive line's been banged up. The running game's been wholly mediocre, and he's throwing a lot of short, ineffective passes as the blurb reads. And then you've got DJ Lagway, who is 61st on this list. As I told you, this list only goes 68 deep, and DJ Lagway is 61st on that list. 690 passing yards and 68 rushing yards to this point. It's just been completely inept. And those are the two guys that LSU was able to score wins over on the back of its defense. So now the question becomes, well, where's everybody else they play ranked? Well, I'll tell you. We'll go all the way to the top of the list. The best quarterback on this list that LSU will play is Diego Pavia. He is ranked second on this list. His QBR is 88.4. He's thrown for 1,200 yards, run for 300 more, 15 total touchdowns, fewer negative plays for the Commodores, 75% completion rate. He has played very, very well. Now, Vanderbilt's schedule has been very light. Yes, you went and won at Virginia Tech. Great. They've already fired their coach. Yes, you won at South Carolina. You destroyed them. That was great. Lenore Sellers had a concussion in that game, which 31-7 is 31-7, but that's the best you got on the resume, so still work to be done. But Diego Pavia at number 2. Incidentally, I'm not going to spend any time on this, but Trinidad Chambliss is third on this list. Third on this list. That's nuts. Ty Simpson is the next quarterback that LSU is yet to play. He is 8th on this list. Bad road start to begin, but projected over 13 games. He's on pace for 3,700 passing yards, 42 touchdowns, and no interceptions to this point. I got a feeling Ty Simpson will probably throw an interception at some point. He has not yet. So I told y'all a couple of weeks ago that I liked what I saw from Ty Simpson if you're looking at positives. I hated seeing it actually because it was Alabama's quarterback that was doing it. But I thought, like, that looks pretty good. And he is now up to number 8 on this list. So you got number 2 on the list, you're playing Diego Pavia. Number 8 on this list, you're playing in Ty Simpson. Those games are on the road. Oh, by the way, number 12 on this list, John Mateer, you play him on the road. LSU has 3 of the top 12 quarterbacks in the country, according to this list. yet to play on the road. Now, Mateer is banged up right now. He's got that broken bone in his hand, but very, very good thus far for the Sooners against mediocre competition. Michigan does have a good defense, but everybody else that he's played not been the toughest of sledding. But still, I think it's noteworthy that 3 of the top 12 on this list LSU plays on the road moving forward. Number 14 on this list, still Taylen Green. And I gave you yesterday the ranking of games that I thought LSU could win, easiest to most difficult left on the SEC slate. And I told you Arkansas was the easiest left. He's the fly in that ointment because Green has been massively productive for a year and a half now. He's put himself on a pace for 3,300 passing yards and 1,100 rushing yards if you look at it over 12 games. He has thrown 5 picks. He's tempted fate with some more interception-worthy throws, as the blog reads. But he's 6th in total QBR because he makes a ton of big plays. And that's somebody LSU will have to see. So that's 4 in the top 14 that LSU is yet to see. The 2 others on their SEC slate come in at number 26. That is Marcel Reed at Texas A&M. Of course, Reed torched LSU last year on the ground. He's been an explosive playmaker this year. 6 yards per non-sack carry, almost 15 yards per completion. He's been really good against zone coverage. He's good. Hasn't been great this year. He was great late in that game against Notre Dame, which is why A&M won it. He wasn't great in the game on Saturday against Auburn, and A&M needed its defense to win that game. So Marcel Reed at 26, and then right behind him at 27 is Lenoris Sellers. I think this blurb is interesting, so I'll read it in its entirety. Getting no help from a dreadful run game, and sacks remain a devastating issue. South Carolina, 126. That's almost dead last in the country in pressure rate allowed. That's the offensive line. 119th in sacks per pressure. That's on Sellers not evading it, not getting rid of it, and taking a lot of sacks. But as the blurb writes, he's still a playmaker, averages 15.3 yards per completion. That's 9th in the country. Only thrown 1 interception. 9.2 yards per scramble. That's obviously very good. There are flaws, but the upside is very obvious with Lenoris Sellers. So if you look at this, Nussmeier back at number 37 on this list. The guys you play moving up on the road, 2nd, 8th, and 12th. The guys you play at home in the SEC, 14th, Taylen Green, 26th, Marcel Reed, 27, Lenoris Sellers. And 26, 27, the back end of that list are 2 guys that ran all over you last year. Sellers before he got hurt, Reed when he came into the ballgame. So those guys have history of success against you and your defensive coordinator. I don't think that matters a ton because I obviously think LSU's got way better personnel this year on defense than they did last year, and I think that their defensive coordinator will have learned from that and has better options at his disposal. But it's a little bit daunting to consider LSU's schedule, especially when you look at how far down this list DJ Lagway and Cade Klubnik have fallen. You thought those 2 guys were potential Heisman candidates, potential playoff quarterbacks, and they're down in the bottom 8 of this list. You've played the guys to give you a break. The guys that are going to be really difficult are still to come on this schedule. I want to be clear before we finish this segment. I still really, really, really believe in LSU's defense, regardless of where these upcoming quarterbacks rank. But I believe in them like I believed in them last week against Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss, that they can play really well. And they can limit these guys and not let them go nuts like they will a lot of other times and score 40, 45 points like they do in a lot of teams. But you got to have some help from Garrett Nussmeier, who ranks 37th on this list, and your offense to win these games. There is no question about that as you move forward. So that's a look at this list. You can check out the entire list at ESPN.com. It's right there at the homepage of the college football tab, listing all the Power 4 quarterbacks to this point. Garrett Nussmeier comes in at 37. If you're looking for our LSU content, you can find it Hunt on LSU wherever you find your sound. Of course, on YouTube as well, updated daily with your LSU football videos, usually in like 10 or 12-minute digestible segments. So if you subscribe to that channel, that'll come directly to your homepage. You'll be able to know when it shows up, and you can get your LSU football fix. Looking for Saints? We got you covered there at Hunt on Saints as well. Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.